Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Broyans Farm. So I just got here in the seed room. As you can see, the coverings are still on most of the seedlings. The only reason there isn't one on these is because all these are up pretty high, and now today they're probably actually going to be ready to take into the big house. And sometimes what will happen is if you put this covering on when these little plants are this high, it'll actually, with that dew, like you see on here, with that dew on there, it'll grab a hold of these and pull them right up out. Mom and Dad are gone today, so I'm basically here by myself. And that also means that I can't really leave, especially because the sun is out so bright today. And we haven't really been watering much the past 2 days because it's been so cloudy. And since I got caught up for the most part on my seeding, I'm gonna start spacing stuff out like you see me do on the geraniums right over there. Now, a lot of this stuff, like the hanging baskets, can't go anywhere because they have to be trimmed once they get big enough, and then they'll get hung up. So things like our sunflowers and our sweet potato vine, stuff like that, I'm gonna be moving either from greenhouse to greenhouse or to the spot where they're gonna start getting put on their waters. Just like the sweet potato vine here, last year I know went right here where these moss hanging baskets are. So I really can't move them, but the sunflowers are all gonna go over in number 2. Over here is the verbena. Now the verbena always go right here, starting in that back corner all the way usually about out to here. So once I get the sunflowers moved out, I'll probably move the sweet potato vine over to here, and then I can start spacing out all the verbena and getting them with their waters put in. What do you think, Lo? Dace? I got the Rio Carnival, and over here I have the Sunbuzz. Probably, I don't know, 15 waters left on each one. I'll just shut them off, and then if we want to, we can water the whole line at one time. We probably won't do that yet though, because the plants are still pretty small, and especially some pots, you can clearly see, like over here, that the plants are smaller than most of the other ones, and so this will get a lot heavier than what these ones will, because that's not sucking as much water. Now it's looking like the seedlings are gonna need water. You can see how those 2 strips there are getting pretty light brown, and when I lift up the flat, it's pretty light in general. I'm looking over a bunch here and they're not real light, but you don't want them to get real light. Once they get dangerously light, that's when you gotta be kind of concerned, because you're probably gonna have some die at that point. So I'm probably just gonna go through now, water all of them, that way they'll be done for the rest of the day. So basically at this point, I'm just kind of going around the whole greenhouse, spot watering things here and there. Like, you can see how all of these Gerbers are good. I mean, they're not real heavy, but they're also not real light. But then you can see this one here, out of 10, 20, 30, 40, there is one that has light colored dirt and it's pretty light. So that means that one's gonna need some watering, and I'll just go through, give it a couple seconds of water, good to go. Now, these might need water in maybe 2 hours, which I could probably water them now, it won't hurt nothing. But I'm gonna see what happens. I'm gonna give them some time. I don't want to overwater anything, especially since these plants are still kind of small. For the most part, we are very happy with all of our plug plants that we got in this year. Nothing was really damaged. They had a really good stand, meaning that there wasn't many that were dead in those cells. And everything now, after a couple weeks of being in, is doing really well. So really no complaints at all this year. Over here is the alyssum. A couple 4-packs here are dry. You can see those ones right here. That corner is a little dry. But there's really no need to water the whole flat because the whole flat is not light. Put that there. Take a walk down here, make sure all the heuchera is doing okay. Now that number 2's opened up, maybe even today, I'm gonna start taking these over. These do really well in the greenhouse, but they can also stay outside once the temperature starts rising and it's not like, you know, 32, 40 at night. So we're probably gonna move these over into number 2. It really stinks to have to plant them over here in number 1, then move them over into number 2, and then after number 2 gets full, then we move them outside. I hate to do that, but we don't have any more greenhouse space. Here's the daisies. Now I could have swore, here we go. You can see the little tiny buds coming out on these. Probably in 3-4 days, they might show some color. So Dad just called and told me that we need an inflation fan, which I already knew that, for our lower high tunnel, but he's not sure if we have one here on the farm. He's actually out in Lancaster, Pennsylvania right now. And all of our extra blowers that we have are for like greenhouses like this one and out at the market, which he said something that's like a 4-bolt. I don't know exactly what that means. I think it just mounts, you know, in like a square pattern, 4 bolts, and I guess the other one's kind of like a triangle pattern. So I'm gonna go take a look and see what I can find. In the greenhouse, I have like one door at each end opened up almost all the way, or all the way. And it's maintaining like 70 to 75, which is what I want. But there's almost no way you can wear a sweatshirt in here. Then you walk outside and it's like, I don't know, it's probably like 45 and it's sunny, but there's a pretty cool breeze. So you can't really walk outside with just a t-shirt on, which kind of stinks because I'm out and inside all day long. Just like I said, we got that snow. Everything's a muddy mess. Our roads aren't too bad, but man, you get off the road at all in the grass and you really start cutting ruts, which is what we really hate. So basically, I kind of just walk everywhere. I don't mind it, and I don't really have that far to walk. No lights in here. So back here is an inflation fan. We probably have 3 or 4 extra ones, but most of them are, like I said, the 4-bolt and not the 3-bolt. Well, I don't know, but there's 3 holes in that one. So if that's what he's calling a 3-bolt, then we are set. I'm gonna call him.
Hello.
Dad.
Yep.
So when you say a 3-bolt and a 4-bolt, do you mean like how it mounts, like to the frame?
Yeah. Yep, the 4 mount will be square. The 4-bolt will be square. It's a higher CFM for bigger greenhouses, like the. And then that small one has a 3-bolt. It's a round mounting on it.
Okay.
1 square 3-bolt, one
round
3-bolt, 1 square 4-bolt.
Well, the first one I found in the storage here is round and it has 3 bolts, and it says it's 60 CFM.
Beautiful. That's what we need.
Well, that was way easier than expected. Usually I'm running from shed to shed, digging in boxes. Walked in, sitting right on top, and it's the one we needed. Some of these hanging baskets are dry. For these, I just kind of do a couple circles. Make sure I'm watering every plant evenly. I don't just want to water 1/2. Once the plants are big enough, we'll just put one of those lines in them that hang from the ceiling here. These right there. And basically the water will only go into the pot in one spot. But at that point, the roots are already established very well, and it's not so much of a threat to make sure that each and every plant is watered evenly. Today is the first day that I've actually walked into the greenhouse and it smelled like flowers. Like, after having COVID, I can't really smell that great. There's certain things I can smell and there's certain things I can't smell, which is kind of weird. When I walked in today, I could specifically smell flowers, which might seem kind of odd because, you know, I am in a greenhouse full of flowers, but nothing's really blooming yet. And there isn't much really to smell besides just dirt and just like what a regular plant smells like without a bud on it. And so now today, kind of exciting, I am smelling flowers. I showed this in my last video, but man, this flower is really pretty. I'm really happy Mom got this one. So first I'm doing Snapdragon. I'm gonna abbreviate it so I don't use so much paper. Liberty Classic. I want to put class. And then 3, 1. And that was still a pretty long one. These are the biggest pain to get apart. Now cut your hand while you're doing it. So now I can take my tray, fill it up with dirt. I've tried putting that sticker on after I put the dirt in the tray, and it just seemed to not work out quite as well. Even a light powder on there makes the sticker not stick. So I just found it's easier to put it on beforehand. I'm only doing 3/4 of a tray here. And I messed up anyway. I was looking at my seeds I planted last year, and I guess this year, whether we didn't like it, which I don't think that was the case, or we just couldn't get it, I have floral showers on this one, and there is no floral showers seeds. So now I gotta make a new tag. This year it is oops, jeez, I could screw up a screw up. Snapdragon. Hopefully that sticks. It's about 4 o'clock now. The sun is starting to go down, which means by this point I should basically have everything watered that needs watered, because you don't want to water too late in the day so that way everything lays wet. And I am, as far as I know, unless I missed something, which I went over everything a couple times. Some things are close to needing water, but I know they'll make it through the night and we'll just water again tomorrow. And so I'm gonna head down now and do barn work. It's starting to get cloudy. And then I'll come back up and start to close up the greenhouses. You wanna go do barn work? Come on. I think the ducks are getting used to me feeding them now. Usually as soon as I start walking down, they either, well, the one can't fly, the one can fly, because the one is a, like I said, I think it's a Muscovy or something like that, and anyway, it can't fly. And then the other one is a male mallard. But now we had 2 more ducks join us. These are 2 more wild mallards, and this is a pair of a male and female. And I don't know, they might fly off when I feed them here. We'll see what happens though. Yep, there they go. So sadly, Hopefully they'll come back, we'll see. What I started doing now is I put a little bit of the corn in the water. Ducks love to dive for food. And so it's really no different for them whether it's on land or underneath the water.